Okay, guys, what are we going to be talking about? Well, there's only one thing that nationalists are talking about at the moment, um, and that is the patriotic Restore Britain party led by Rupert Lowe and Nigel Farage's Reform Party. Yeah, I'm sure there are many good patriots in the Reform Party. I think the only reason they haven't moved over to Restore Britain yet is that most of them haven't discovered really for themselves what sort of man Nigel Farage is. A liar, a grifter, not to be trusted, possibly even a traitor. Sad really. If he had quit politics after Brexit, he could have gone down in British history as a hero. Now what is he going to be remembered for? Accepting dodgy £5 million backhanders? That one's not going away, that's for sure. They're still after him for that, and information has come out now showing that he appears to have lied about the 5 million. Anyhow, we'll move on from that for a second. I want to show you this regards the talks that were supposed to be going on between Rupert and Nigel. Let's have a look here. Pause, Paul. Yeah. Rupert Lowe has accused Nigel Farage of lying, potentially scuppering talks about a political pact before they have even begun. Well, we knew that there would be no serious talks. We knew that what some people mistakenly called a olive branch from Rupert to Nigel was actually a length of barbed wire with 5 big barbs on it, that there was absolutely no way Nigel and the Reform Party could grasp. Yeah, I don't know why they thought this was a genuine offer, shall we say. It was just a brilliant chess move on the part of Rupert Lowe, and we'll come back to that in a moment. Anyhow, Rupert Lowe has accused Nigel Farage of lying, potentially scuppering talks about a political pact before they have even begun. In a post on X, the Restore Britain leader wrote, "I do not want to make private conversations public, but Farage has just done so at a national press conference. He said to me yesterday, shall we have a call? Sadly, that is just a lie. Yesterday at 10:13, Nigel messaged me saying the following 3 words, we'll call later. The evidence is below. I have received no call. Senior Reform figures then went public to rubbish my offer." Well, what else can they do? They've looked at the conditions, and let's go back here, that were made, and there is no way that those in the Reform Party leadership are going to accept any of them. Well, yeah, they might accept 1 or 2, but there are some key sticking points there for them, and we'll get into those now in a moment. Pause, Paul. This was a clever move on the part of Rupert. He's got these 5 points out there now, and now Nigel and the Reform Party are going to have to respond to them, aren't they? Yeah, let's go through them. Stand by, pause, Paul. Let's go through them one by one, shall we? 1. Secure the borders and reverse mass immigration. Rupert isn't just talking about reversing mass immigration. He's talking about deporting everyone in Britain who is here illegally, including women and children, and really tightening up on things. Yeah. Perhaps Reform might go for that. They might balk at women and children. Well, I'm afraid they all have to go. Millions must go if we're going to have a future for our children and great-grandchildren. Number 2, this is really going to put the cat amongst the pigeons. And it has. I'll show you in a moment. Protect Britain's demographic security and Christian heritage. Yeah. We're talking about the Islamification of our country. What Rupert is saying is that we've got to reaffirm our Christian heritage. It'd be good if Christians took back control of the Church of England, which has been subverted from within by people like the Archbishop of Canterbury. Yeah. Banning the burqa. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure that reform would go along with that. Banning halal. I know that reform wants to do that. I know that reform wants to do that. They rightly believe that if were we to ban halal, a lot of people who like that kind of food would self-deport. But of course, Rupert has come out and said that he believes that the party should also ban kosher slaughter. Now that is going to be a big one for the Reform Party to swallow. In fact, they won't be able to swallow it. They won't be able to swallow it. I'm going to have to do a separate video about the influence of a certain demographic in our country, the power they've got over our parliament. He also wants to ban cousin marriage, Sharia courts, and this, I think, is an important one, to stop large Islamic prayers dominating public spaces like we've seen them do outside our churches, in our streets, on our bridges, outside our parliament, and outside St. Paul's. Yeah, that's not religious worship. That's a sign showing just how powerful they are. Number 3, hold a referendum on restoring the death penalty. Yeah, reform would go along with that. I'm sure that there's a lot of Reform Party members, even amongst the Civnats, who support that. 4, restore a self-sufficient Britain. And this would involve controlling public spending, reducing welfare expenditure, tackling inflation, and, well, he said it, accepting that there's going to be some difficult and unpopular economic decisions would be needed to do it. He said we could expect pain. Pain is the price that we should be paying now, so that our children and grandchildren don't have to pay it. In fact, it's already probably too late. Our children and grandchildren are probably going to have to pay off our debts down the years, just in the way we only recently paid off the First and Second World War. Yeah, to the globalist bankers. And then restore trust in politics. Number 5, no former failed Tory ministers in cabinet. Yeah, Rupert has said, hasn't he, that no former Conservative government ministers should be appointed to a future cabinet. What did he say? He said they'd already had their chance and they blew it. And they blew it big time, didn't they? Okay, so those are the 5 points. Let's get back to which one here I think is important. What was it? Point number 2. Kosher slaughter. That's kicked one off, haven't it? If we go over to X and have a look at Basil the Great. Stand by, pause, Paul. Yeah, over on X, Basil the Great has reported that Break-In Reform UK have said that Rupert Lowe's offer to work together will be rejected unless he removes his ban on kosher slaughter. So this is the sticking point for Reform on uniting the right and taking our country back. They want to make sure that Jews can slaughter animals in a barbaric method. Absolutely disgraceful from Reform. Yeah, and I agree. I totally agree. And it's also the hypocrisy. They want to ban it for the Muslims, but not for themselves. British people don't like animal cruelty. We see that all the time. You know, British people have an affinity with animals, even if they have to eat them. They don't like to see them suffer before they are processed into one of my favourite foods, like bacon. Yeah. Anyhow, Basil goes on to say, Reform Board member Gawain Towler wrote this declaring the red line. But there is one, let's see if I can get it bigger. Oh, I don't want that. But there is one matter on which no door stays open. A party that proposes to ban kosher slaughter is not making a point about animal welfare. It is telling the oldest continuous religious community in this country that its practice is provisional and its presence conditional. Lowe's own remarks about a Jewish camera and his response when it surfaced, which was that he could not remember saying it, and that if he did it was a joke. And yes, it was a joke. It was a joke. These people are getting as bad as the left, if not worse. Tells you how seriously he takes the question. The Board of Deputies asked for an apology. Who the hell are the Board of Deputies to demand anything from anyone in this country? They are in our country as guests. They are not English, they are not Welsh, they're not Scottish, they're not Ulster Scots either. Yeah, they're in our country as guests. Even if they are here legally, they are still guests in our country, the same as any British citizen coming from any other country who's not indigenous to these islands. They are here as guests. The Board of Deputies asked for an apology. It did not come. Meanwhile, a cohort is assembled around the straw that no serious patriotic party would tolerate for a fortnight, and Lowe has never once been willing to name it, still less expel it. Right. Pause, Paul. Rupert's played a blinder. He's forcing this out into the limelight. Stand by. This is Nigel. He's at the Reformed Jewish Alliance. This is a grouping like the Friends of Israel within the Labour Party, the Friends of Israel within the Conservative Party. No politician, no member of Parliament should belong to an organisation that promotes the welfare of another country before our own. This is how we get dragged into foreign wars like Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, yeah, doing the bidding of another country in the Middle East. Yeah. I honestly believe that any politician, member of Parliament, who belongs to an organisation like the Reform's Jewish Alliance or the Labour Party's Friends of Israel should be investigated. Their bank accounts need to be gone through, their personal life gone through, their computers gone through. I put a video up once, didn't I, where all these MPs and civil servants were declaring their interests, and they all belong to organisations like the Friends of Israel, the Conservative Friends of Israel. No. Well, now it's out in the spotlight, isn't it? I really think Rupert should make more of this. I really do. It's about time that people knew who was really pulling the strings of our parliamentarians. Same in America. Congress is totally controlled by the Jewish lobby. And this is why America is stuck in a war it can't win in Iran. They won't win in Iran. And why? Why? To do the bidding? To build a greater Israel? No. I'm glad this is coming out. I'm really glad this is coming out. Pause, Paul. Okay. Back to the main board. Point number 5. No, let's go to 4. Restore a self-sufficient Britain. Yeah, I'd like to see more documentation on that, and more information on what the cuts are. Not because I would be opposed to them, but just I'd like to know more information about it. Finally, that point number 5. This is another issue. Farage said yesterday that he wouldn't turn his back on his friends. I noticed he didn't address any of the real major issues to us, like mass immigration or the uh, the banning of halal and kosher. He didn't really talk about that. He couldn't really talk about that, could he? He's got too many Muslim backers and a large number of Jewish backers as well, so we wouldn't talk about that. So he talked about point number 5. He insisted Rupert wants the former Conservative governments who failed us to be allowed nowhere near politics, and we agree with that. But what was Farage's response? He can't betray his friends. Wow. We've seen the way Nigel treats his friends, anyone who gets close to him. He stabs them in the back. Look what he done to Rupert Lowe. Restore trust in politics. Yeah. I wouldn't trust any political party with those former Tory ministers in it, to be honest. Yeah. Well, I think that's all I've got for you guys. We knew it was a chess move right from the start, or at least some of us did. Please stop saying it was an olive branch. It was a length of barbed wire with 5 vicious barbs on it. And Farage can't grasp any of them. Okay, guys, you've been listening to Paul Morris, the Green Arrow. See you on the next one. Don't forget, like, subscribe. Do consider joining as a member. It'll cost you £4 a month, and all you'll get will be a pretty badge like this one. This country needs help. This channel needs help. See you on the next one, guys. I'm off to listen to Kev K57's music live. I should do a video about it. I love listening to his show in the morning. Pause, Paul. Great show, Kev.